The current congresswoman that we have representing this district has been in office for over 25 years. For 25 years, we get promises about affordable housing, about affordable health care, about fixing the homeless crisis, and yet, year after year, we never get any results from the congresswoman. 25 years in office, same promises made every year, and we never get any results. In the past year, safety in the city has gotten worse. Our schools are underperforming, and yet the congresswoman is nowhere to be found. I have not seen Congresswoman Maloney here in the district speaking to the people in months, years probably. I think the city of New York needs new leadership. I think it's time to get new people into Congress, into state office and city offices. People that can actually relate to the constituents that they're representing. The congresswoman is out of touch with the district. She's out of touch with the communities, and all her failed promises she needs to be held accountable for her failed promises. I encourage everyone to go vote November 3rd. Please go on our website, carlos4ny.com, and our social media. We have a lot of information there about our agenda and what we want to do for the people of New York when we're in Congress. I myself are a small business owner. I own 2 businesses. I know what it's like to make payroll, to have to raise funding for your business. And these are things that the congresswoman with her $30 million network just has no idea of. She is out of touch with her district. She's a career politician that really hasn't made any changes here at all. So I encourage everybody to go vote. Please go to our website, and thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Carlos. All right, so what's next?
You.
Oh, is it? Oh, all right. I didn't know. Okay.
I'm usually not wearing flats.
All right, so I thank everybody for coming. And I had something prepared here, and everybody's talking off the cuff. Now it makes me feel a little, put it over here. But anyway, let me just give you a little rundown off this here. Is that I'm not sure how many know me. So basically, I was born in Yorkville. I was born in New York Hospital. I was raised here in Yorkville, and I raised my family here in Yorkville. So I know the neighborhood. All right, so basically, what I do is I'm a grandfather, I'm a union guy, I'm a shop steward, I take care of my grandkids, I take care of, help out my wife and my mother-in-law. So I know the pressures that go on in everyday life, how all of us are really working as hard as we can, but we don't seem that we can't get any traction. And that's what really got me to say, you know what? I gotta run. I've been here for 63 years, and you know what? I'm fed up. I was running even before the bear reform disaster happened, because you know what? It's just that when you have a one-party town, there's no accountability. Everybody thinks that everything's a good idea because nobody wants to step out of line, because you know what? They won't have the seat next year, because that's how powerful a one-party town is. So I had to step up for this. And just to give you a little background is that I was retired. I worked as an IT professional for 20 some odd years with Fortune 100 companies. And between that was my union career. It was basically before my corporate career. To raise my family, I went to work as a doorman. I went to school. I worked at night, went to school, passed, and my first job, is the proverbial mailroom. I started in the mailroom at Merrill Lynch. So that was where I said, okay, I'm gonna make my mark here. And basically with my IT career, that's how I got my foot in the door. And so I had a great, illustrious career there. And I said, I had time enough retiring, but then, things got so bad, I had to come out of retirement. I started working as a doorman. I had to help my kids, because for them to go to work. And I said, you know what, I am mad as I can't take this anymore. We're all working so hard, we need change. And that's why I'm running here today. And the way I see things is, like everybody else was saying, we need common sense in government, which we don't have because people don't want to talk. Everybody thinks they have the best idea since sliced bread, but it's not like that. You know, the bear reform, yeah, great thing. So I'm here to try to reach out to build a coalition between both parties to come out with sensible solutions, because I believe that diverse opinions create doable solutions, and we really need to talk, and that's not what's happening right now. And of course, as was stated before, that I really want to push back on the unbridled greed, the corruption, and the reckless mismanagement. All right, and I've seen the reckless mismanagement in major corporations, and that's why every once in a while you got to clean house, you got to do the right remarks here. So I'm the guy to go in there and help government clean out their mess. And of course, I want to keep our city safe, right? Ensure our environment is preserved, our children are nurtured, our seniors are protected, our small businesses are allowed to thrive, and I will fight systemic racism and inequalities, right? Supporting the police and fighting systemic racism are not mutually exclusive. We can do both, all right? And that's what we need to do here. You know what? It sounds like for some groups, they're dirty words, and they're not. But you know what? Once I get elected, we've got to talk to everybody, and we'll come to a common sense solution for everything, right? I love the police department. Everybody loves the police department. Sure, we need change, reform, yeah, but sensible. Not like they're doing now with de Blasio, willy-nilly cutting $1 billion out of the budget and bending over to pressure. And that's not how to run a city or any type of government. You have to provide a confident look to say, I have everything under control, and this is my plan to do things. Not run and listen to everybody and just willy-nilly decisions. And one of the things about law enforcement that I really look forward to trying to push is, I'm not sure if you read the book by Malcolm Gladwell. It was called Blink. But basically what we need to do, in Blink it says, we got to put the police officers in the zone. So if you ever hear about sports players saying that they're in the zone means things are slowed down to a point that a second takes minutes in their mind. And that's how we need to train our police officers to get into that zone, so when they're confronted with dangerous situations, time can basically stand still and have them make the right choices. You know, because if I'm out there with a gun and I'm scared as hell and I don't have the right training, you know, usually leads to a bad decision somewhere, but not because of the fault of the officer. All right? But yes, there are some officers that are constantly a problem, and we need to handle that situation. So don't get me wrong, I'm in the middle of the road. We have to support the police. We have to make common sense reform. And the same thing goes for bail reform, all right? I understand that idea, but you don't want turnstile justice when you're arrested one minute and before the paperwork is dry, you're out again. What is good? What that does is it frustrates the police department. It frustrates small business owners that they're invested in life with the products on their shelves, and somebody can walk in, take it and walk out, and there's no accountability. So, I got a backside. All right, so another thing is that with the pandemic, a lot of people are suffering. You know, small businesses, you know, individuals, small businesses are trying to stay afloat. Individuals are trying to stay in their houses, whether you're renting or you have a mortgage. We need to back them up to make sure, you know what, you're safe. And believe me, I don't think the real estate industry wants to kick all these people out of their apartments, and I don't think the banks want to do that too. So there's common ground here that can be talked about. How do we achieve keeping everybody at home, right? And not have that as a financial burden for them in the future, because nobody wants the burden of this on their back for not just their generation, but for future generations. So we need to work that out, and that has to be a way to work this out, all right? Because we're the richest city in the world, and I think there's a lot of resources here, and I believe we have a lot of smart people here that if we focus them in the right direction, we'll get the right answers, right? People who complain about, oh, these realtor guys are just in it, they're greedy landlords. But if you focus them a different way, say, you know what? You want to keep your investment, but you also need to help the people that are smart enough to know how to do this, all right? And we can do this. All right, bear with me. I'll just go down to what my main theme is that I think we have to love our neighbor. I mean, that we have to put that in vogue again. When we look at each other as peers, we can work together to get solutions so everyone can have a decent life. But when we look at others as literally, lower than us or higher than us, we don't achieve anything. We need to be peers, and we could do that. Just bear with me. I'm new at this. Okay, so here we go with one main theme I like to say is only through serving others do we truly serve ourselves. So every time you're out helping someone, it comes back to you. And that's why I feel what I'm running for my children. But you know what? When I help everybody's children, it comes back and helps my family too. So when we serve others, we're serving ourselves. So this leads us to, how did I get here? How did I get here? And I just want to say, I like to thank AJ and the Manhattan GOP because they had courage and foresight to have somebody who matches the district completely, I think, and thank you for letting an ordinary guy come out and take on the Democratic machine. Yeah. And by that is that we're the only major party on the ballot in this district for Upper East Side and for Roosevelt Island, all right? We are striving to flip this seat that has been controlled by the Democrats for 20 years. Believe it or not, it's been 20 years since any Republican has held office in Manhattan, right? This race, as you heard, is the beachhead to open up all of Manhattan to more Republican wins, And why do you think that the Democrats are pulling out all the stops? You know what? They even dusted off Hillary. If you see it, Hillary's now backing Seawright. Now, how desperate can they be? They have PACs coming in with their money, right? You're using dirty tricks. Seawright's trying to call me every name in the book, and now they got Hillary Clinton, out there trying to convince people that Seawright is the right person to go to. But you know what? There's one thing that they really want to do is that they really don't care about the city. They do it for the power. It's all about the power. It's not about the average citizens that have it. So, man, they don't want to lose this stranglehold, and they'll do anything to keep it. So, I appreciate that you all are here to help me to take back, or at least save our city, I should say, from Democratic control and crazy bills like bail reform, and so we could go on our way and make a decent life for everybody here in the city. And just one other point, if we're winning more here, you know what? We could have a Republican mayor. And when we have a Republican mayor, we can have a Republican governor. Because when we have more Republicans voting here, downstate, it will affect the elections for governor in a couple of years from now. So I think I talked long enough, and I appreciate anybody coming out for the campaign, but we still got about 3 weeks to go, and we're going about this full steam ahead, and you know what? Let's continue to go out there, and let's take this for the Republicans and for every honest, decent, hard-working person that lives in this city, because they deserve better treatment than what they're getting now. So thank you very much, and I just want to let you know that Alexandra is here to help you with the canvassing today, and if you want to volunteer for the future as well, Alexandra will be coordinating that, so that we'll be hitting the road for the next 3 weeks. All right, I'm on vacation for the next 3 weeks, so I'm going to be out here. All right, day or night. I'm out here, and I'll be with Curtis too. We're out here and working with this. Please, let's all get together and let's go.
Yeah, Lou.
Thank you very much. There's coffee, water, and thank you all for coming.
We had the first Zoom call.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not supposed to show a drink, but this might be all right.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. No,
I can live with it. Sorry, pretty good. I'll give it a pretty good.
Okay, and everybody, okay, the census ends Halloween. So please make sure that you're completing your census, and everybody that you know complete the census, because you know why? That's how we get government resources, hospitals, police, and money is based on how many people are in the city. All right? And the thing is, when I did the census in 2010 with this guy, is that the investment, the foreign investment in the buildings really skews what's here because they're not filling out censuses. All right? And the only way we're going to get services is by completing the census. And I just want to say, without this guy here, AJ is terrific, but Will here he started me on the road to where I am today. Because he told me...
He's a decent guy.
He's also a community board aide, but he told me, Lou, you had great ideas. Why don't you go out and say it? And by the way, why don't you start a show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network? And that's what I did. It's called Decent Life. And from there, I had shows on candidates, which led me to Curtis, which I ran for the Reform Party, and then to AJ and the Manhattan GOP, which I'm very grateful for. And you know what? You never know where life is going to lead you. So that's what I'm saying. If you told me even 2 years ago that I will be here today, you don't know. So it's always great to have a plan A and a plan B. And I thank God for this opportunity that's here today. And thank you very much. Have a nice day, and please care this one. Oh yeah, that's good. Curtis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very good. Six in this frame here. All right.
Are we in? Need to move closer, or are we okay? Okay.
Mic drop. Oh, she lost her calling now. Oh,
Look at that. Stop acting.
all right. I'm good. You go ahead. Please help me out.
Yeah.
Please,
Wait.
I don't want to get things that I'm not wearing a mask on.
What?
No, I'm not going to get that.
Do you want to wear it?
For a couple of pictures.